Today we are going to tackle customer due diligence with an in-depth CDD tutorial. As most of you know, CDD or customer due diligence isn't just a fancy word in financial crime prevention, but it's one of the big pillars in anti-money laundering sector, which is helping stop criminals and those bad players from accessing in the first place the financial network. So if you're new to the industry, this video will help you through the key topics that you want to know about CDD, and if you've been in the industry already for some time, maybe this can be a quick memory refresh for you. And of course, I hope you will still find value in this type of content. So let's jump right into today's video. Okay, first thing first, what exactly is a CDD? Think of it as the Sherlock Holmes of financial crime world. It's the process where banks and other financial institutions investigate their clients before doing any business with them, all with the final objective to prevent financial crimes and other money laundering activities. So in today's era where digital transactions are skyrocketing, CDD is more important than ever. It's like having a financial crime radar that is always on alert. Moving on to the heart of our CDD tutorial, the process itself is like putting together a puzzle piece by piece. You start with customer identifications. Who are they really? Then there is the vital know your customer, the KYC process phase, where you are diving deep into the background. Why are they opening this account? What's the purpose for their transaction? It's a bit like the detective work, as we've seen before, to ensure that everything adds up as it should and in line with the customer profile. The customer risk assessment is where the real action happens in CDD. We are not just talking about any risk, we are focusing on financial crime risk, so you will need to categorize customers based on a variety of potential risk factors. So those can include where the customer lives, in what business the customer operates. If it's a retail customer or a corporate customer, of course, is going to make a difference, and many more contributing factors that essentially will allow you to put a risk tag on this customer. Is the customer a high-risk one? Then maybe it's a PEP, and you will need to keep a closer eye on them and ensure that the EDD, the Enhanced Due Diligence process, is also followed. For low-risk customers, there may be not the need to do as much scrutiny, so you might also, for example, review their information less frequently than you would for a high-risk customer. It's all about balancing the security with the efficiency. You don't want to treat, of course, everyone like a suspect, right? But you also can let the bad guys slip through and get them onboarded. Before going into the next part of this CDD tutorial, if you are enjoying my content, make sure you subscribe now to my channel, FinCrime Agent. This is very important if you want to watch more of my videos, and your subscription is also a massive help to scale this project even more. So thank you for doing that. Okay, so you now have classified your customer during the initial onboarding phase. A crucial aspect of CDD now is the ongoing monitoring part. You can think of it as the kind of maintenance phase, right? You have onboarded the customer, so even if, for example, it was a high-risk relationship, but still within the risk appetite of your organization, so the risk was considered acceptable for your company, the work doesn't stop there. You do need to keep an eye on their transactional activities. This needs to take place very regularly, and on any changes that they could apply to their profile details. Are there any unusual patterns, any red flags from your ML transaction monitoring that scream, I'm not up to any good? This is where you need to be vigilant and constantly updating customer profile and ensuring that all compliance part, like your transaction monitoring and your sanctions and name screening as well, are all well aligned and connected with the CDD process to spot any fishy business that is possibly going on with this customer. So There is another angle that we can talk about here, which is the perpetual KYC, or also known as PKYC. This topic, I think, requires a video just on its own. So if you are keen for me to create some more fresh content on perpetual KYC or PKYC, let me know in the comments of this video and I will work to put something together for you. In the age of globalization, CDD is a worldwide game now, with cross-border transactions that are becoming the norm. Complying with international regulation is key and extremely important. Different countries, different rules. Yes, but the goal is of course always the same. We are trying to prevent financial crime. So staying on top of these regulations is like juggling, but it's a skill that absolutely everyone needs to learn because it's essential in today's global financial arena. And thank God for technology, so you don't need to do anymore the crazy manual monitoring task anymore that you used to do a few years ago. I could not create a CDD tutorial without talking about the tech, of course. In our digital era, technology plays a massive role, as you've seen it absolutely everywhere, right? So when we talk about CDD, we have automated systems, for example, artificial intelligence and machine learning, that are all very powerful tools now in place for identifying risk and patterns that might go unnoticed by the human eye. So technology in CDD is like having a superpower, enhancing your ability to detect and prevent the financial crime and make your compliance life also a little bit easier most of the times. But remember, with great power comes great responsibility. So let's not forget the human element. Technology is fantastic. I work in technology myself, but it's not replacing yet the intuition and the judgment of a seasoned compliance professional. Sometimes you need that human touch and the ability to actually read between the lines to really understand your customer's activity. So today, what makes CDD processes extremely strong is in fact the combination of tech and humans insights. And most regulators are also embracing and welcoming this new link between the latest AI, for example, and the experience of seasoned compliance investigators. So let's face it, CDD isn't always what we say a walk in the park, right? There are hurdles, but the good news, that can be overcome with the right strategies and a bit of know-how as well. To mention a few of those, we can start by mentioning the data privacy concern, for example. In an era where personal information is gold, balancing the need for thorough due diligence with privacy laws is very important. How do we do this? By staying updated with the data protection regulations like GDPR in the European Union and ensuring that our CDD processes are compliant. It's a tightrope walk for sure, but essential for both legal compliance and building trust also with your clients. Then there is the challenge of uncooperative clients. Not everyone is thrilled about going through a rigorous CDD process, right? Here, communication is very important. Explain the why behind this process. Make them understand that it's not just about a regulatory hook, but a measure that is in place to protect everyone in the financial system, themselves included. But wait, there is more. We talked about the new technology earlier in this CDD tutorial, but what about the old technology? How the system can slow down the CDD process, frustrating the clients and of course even the staff that is working on them. So broadly, the world is moving at a very fast pace. So even clients going through the CDD process now are expecting a smooth experience. So what's the solution? Invest in modern, efficient CDD tools. Yes, it's a cost, but think of it as an investment in speed and for better accuracy. Another head scratcher we can say is staying ahead of the evolving financial crimes. Criminals are constantly finding new ways to bypass the systems that we put in place for the prevention of financial crime risks. So staying one step ahead, it requires continuous training for your team, which is a must. Keep them updated with the latest trend in financial crime and CDD techniques, and also make these trainings enjoyable, please, because knowledge is power after all, and The more your team is knowledgeable and engaged with the industry risks, the better they can protect your business and your clients. And finally, balancing awareness with efficiency. You don't want to cut corners for sure, but you also can't afford to have a process so cumbersome that it hampers customers' experience or slow down the business in the first place. So the key, streamlining your CDD process without compromising on the quality of your due diligence. So regularly review them and update your processes to keep them as efficient as possible. Overcoming these challenges isn't easy for sure, but it's definitely possible. With the right approach, you can turn these hurdles into stepping stones for a more robust and effective CDD process. And if you learned something new with this CDD tutorial, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to watch more of my regulatory compliance and financial crime related videos. To support my FinCrime Agent project, you will find my Patreon link in the video description, or feel free just to show your love with a super thanks directly on this YouTube video. So that's all for now. Thank you for watching, and until next time, see you soon.